Greetings Terrarians, Khaios here. Those of you who do not follow me on Twitter might not know that I recently started a collaboration series with fellow YouTuber CheesyPaninie. The series, titled Arterria, is a build challenge where we take turns building within a restricted area. There are also some other restrictions and rules to the challenge, but you can get a gist for those if you watch the series. The first episode was posted on CheesyPaninie's channel yesterday. I encourage you all to go check her channel out and check out the collaboration video. I'll leave a link to the video in the description here, and next Saturday I'll be posting the second episode of the series. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the episode. Welcome back to Project Ghost. As you could tell, I'm doing things in a little bit of a different format today. Usually I prefer to do segments of live commentary, segmented in between or spaced in between time-lapsed segments of the build. Today, however, aircraft were flying overhead constantly at the time of recording, and instead of just deciding to postpone the video and just post a day later than I normally would, I decided to just go ahead and time-lapse everything and do a commentary over it. So as you could see here, I'm starting on the opposite side of the course. It's the first time that I'm doing this, but we're getting really close to finishing Course 1 in Project Ghost, and I wanted to start with the finish line, so to speak. So what I'm doing here is I'm just building a tunnel. It's going to be a brick tunnel straight down, and players are going to have to drop their way down the tunnel and survive, and the first player to reach the bottom will win. So just to make the ruin segments, I'm combining things like ebonstone brick painted gray and palladium column painted gray to get that little pattern that I do a lot in my medieval builds. I really like the way that looks, but to get a little more ruin look, I'm going to be blending in some gray brick here and some stone as well, just to make it look like it's falling apart a little bit. I didn't do this during the video, but I'll probably come back later and just kind of beat up the sides, I guess, so to speak. Delete segments and hammer segments just to make it look a little rougher on the side. So what I'm doing here is I'm placing beams of living wood, and these are going to be supporting the chains that players will have to either ride down or fall down and catch before they hit the bottom and die. So when placing the chains, I want some segments of long chain and some segments of shorter chain, just so that players kind of have to think on the fly. I'm painting the bottoms of them brown to kind of give them a little bit of a rusted look. And everything here is going to be dark once I place the walls. So that's kind of why I want the chains to be uneven, so that you can't just ride one chain all the way down. So I'm starting with the wall segment by just placing ebonstone brick painted gray, ebonstone brick wall that is, painted gray. And then to give it a ruined look afterwards, I will mix in some gray brick and some hellstone brick, because I feel like that looks pretty good as a ruined brick texture. with the wall out of the way, I'm going to just throw a little bit of decoration that's going to be on the right side of the course. And it's just going to be similar to what was on the left side with the starting area. And that's just going to be a tree on the edge that's kind of just pressed up against the abyss. Again, we have this flat edge here that will be cut off, and there's going to be complete darkness over to the side. You won't be able to see anything. So that's kind of why I'm not going past the dirt wall here that you see with any of the leaves or any of the wood of the tree. I'm not going to go too much into detail about making trees right now because I do plan on doing some nature build tip videos in the future, including trees. But something I do want to say now, just if you're building nature, just try to make it as asymmetrical as possible. There are very few things in nature that look absolutely flawless. So little mistakes here and there actually give a little bit of life to any sort of nature build. So here I'm marking 3 points, or well, technically 4 if you count the surface, where players will be able to enter the tunnel towards the exit. And now I'm going into TEdit, and all I'm going to do is just carve a thin path and kind of just visualize how I want these tunnels to connect to that big drop at the end. So I'm just going to give a rough line of different paths, and you can see I connect them to where I left off in the previous episode at the waterfall. I do want one leading to the surface, and I want the others to lead to the side of the fall here. And then I do have that underwater one, which I decided to actually give it a straight pitfall down and then build over like this. And then I'm gonna get out of TEdit, and then I'm gonna go in game and just use these rough guidelines that I did along with the drill mount to just kind of give a rough, undetailed path for each one of those pathways, each one of those lines I'm gonna carve out. Now, the reason I logged out there is because I am building in a T-Shock server, and I believe I've mentioned this before, but if you use the drill mount on a T-Shock server and you shut the server down, once you log back in, I don't think it's just T-Shock, I think it's just multiplayer in general, when you use the drill mount, it slopes surfaces naturally. But if you do it in multiplayer and then you log out, it unslopes those surfaces. So I can't really tell what has and hasn't been sloped on a multiplayer surface after I've used the mount if I just go straight into sloping blocks myself. So what I do is just that. I log out and log back in, shut down the server briefly, and bring it back up. And then it'll be, all of these slopes are unsloped, and I could see what I actually need to shape myself. So now I'm just going into TEdit just to save myself some time, and this gives you a better idea of how I personally use TEdit. I'm just giving some rough details by switching what kind of blocks I'm using. I want to have segments of sandstone block painted gray within the dirt, not so much that it turns into a desert biome, obviously, but instead of just replacing the dirt manually in game, which would take 10 times longer, if that, or if not more, I just go into TEdit and just kind of draw it out like this and just use the paint tool to fill in exactly what I want, just to save me a good bit of time. So a lot of people think that I do a lot of my building in TEdit, and really that's not the case. I just try to do time-saving things like this. And then I go back in game and I work on the finer details with the hammer in game, because that's what I prefer to do personally. And the rest of this video is kind of going to be just shaping and detailing the tunnels, and not too much detail, I mean just smoothing it out and giving it its general shape. So while I go ahead and do that in the time lapse, I just want to talk about this world, Project Ghost. This is likely going to be the last episode of the series under the name Project Ghost, just because I'm going to actually be giving the map a proper name once the first course is released. I don't complete all of the fine details in this build, in this video, but I don't feel that there's enough detail left for me to warrant another episode on it. We'll see. I'm probably not going to do another episode of Project Ghost, or if I do, it's not going to be Course 1, it'll probably be the start of Course 2. In the meantime, however, I'm going to be going through Course 1, cleaning it up, getting all of the fine details in, getting it as pretty looking as possible. I still need to do all of the wiring aspects, and then I need to get some beta testers together and give the concept a few tests. Once that's all done, however, I'll be making an announcement in a future video that I'll be posting in Twitter, looking for, I don't know, 4 to 6 players to join me for kind of a playtest. I guess not a playtest because I'll have done beta tests at this point, but kind of like a reveal of the Project Ghost Course 1, where we'll all go through the race together at the same time. And I'll actually use that recording to make the trailer for this, and it'll end up posted on Curse, where Harbinger has been posted. So all of that's going to be coming in the near future. I'd imagine probably maybe 1 to 2 more weeks before I'm ready to look for players to join me in the first course, maybe 3. I don't imagine it take any longer than 3 weeks to get everything finalized. But if you do see another episode of Project Ghost, it'll probably be Course 2. So that's going to do it for today's video. I thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the build. I hope you guys are looking forward to Project Ghost being revealed as much as I do. I look forward to playing with all of you, or at least some of you, and checking out this course. Again, if you haven't already, please be sure to check out CheesyPaninie's channel and our collaboration. The link to that video is in the description below. Thank you all very much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment, and please subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all later. Happy building.